Everything else can wait. Give me you. I hope I'm not too late. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Give me you. Everything else can wait. Lord, give me you. I hope I'm not too late. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. 'Cause it's me, oh Lord. I'm on my knees, crying out to you. It's me, oh Lord. I'm on my knees, so give me you. Give me you. Come on, say, give me you. Everything else can wait. Give me you. I hope I'm not too late. Lord, give me you. Lord, give me you. Lord.
Greetings to our viewers. It's me, Pastor Law, and you are watching In Your Corner. Just an apology for yesterday night. We couldn't stream live due to the humbling of load shedding, but we are here to continue today with our topic that we are busy discussing and busy getting information as to how this thing work. We in part 3 of the Lobola Magadi negotiations as we continue with it. Next week will be our final week, but we are in part 3. Just check out and watch out for the poster that's gonna be dropping soon during next week, where I will be preaching on a series, Spiritual Maturity. The dates will follow also as we have great plans and we continue to do the work of the Lord. Without further endurance or making you guys wait, let me introduce my guest that is with me tonight as we discuss this Lobola Magadi negotiations. Please welcome Pastor IG Mabuchola.
Thank you, sir.
Greetings, man of God. How are you doing?
No, greetings, sir. I'm great. And you?
No, I'm very well, thank you. Can you just tell our viewers that is with us on the feed where you are from and where you are based?
Yes, this is Pastor IG from Northwest in Dr. Ruth Komutsi Mompati, Kahisano Molopo municipality, and I'm now residing in Kakame.
Thank you very much, our viewers. There you have it. My leader, I know you've been following us for the couple of 2 weeks as we unraveling this topic. It's a very interesting topic in our day and in our age. Can you explain to us what is Lobola Magadi negotiations? Take us through the process.
Oh, wonderful. No, thank you, sir. The Lobola negotiations is a process where when one has identified a woman as to be his wife, it's a process where it is practiced in our cultures that our elderly people will go on to negotiate. We call it Lobola, but it's a bride price. It is the bride price that is being paid for the woman who is to be married to a man. So there's the process will be led by elderly people in most cases, or let's say the family members of the man who wants to marry a woman. They will go on and negotiate for him what will be the price to be paid.
So then, when this young man, or is there an age that is on the bride or on the groom in terms of negotiating the marriage, or can a young boy of 17 years decide that he wants to, if he feels that he has his eye on this woman, is he entitled to pay lobola for a specific woman?
Yeah, no, it will depend because if you remember well, in olden days, the parents at times, due to other practices, they used to just decide for the young man, for the small boy. They used to do it that they just pay in advance where the boy does not even have a say. So in those olden days, it was used to be like that. But currently, the parents, they may agree if according to them they think the 17-year boy can do it. But I think with where we are today, the parents won't agree to that. But I think few years back they could agree that a 17-year boy could do it.
If we look at the olden customary marriages, and we look at the 21st century marriages in terms of paying Magadi, do you think that, oh, let me rephrase, what is the difference between the 21st century and the olden days Magadi negotiations? What is the difference in terms of customary?
Um, I think the only difference will be the developing world, because now that the world is developing and everything is becoming expensive, you get people who are saying the Lobola nowadays is a bit expensive. But I would say, based on the currency of the olden time or the olden days, based on what they were using to pay Lobola, I would still think that it was still even then expensive because of the economic of that time. So, and the only thing that I see now, I would say, uh, that what I see to be similarity between the olden and today is that the young men of today, they elect to say upfront what is it that they want to bring as lobola now. And in that practice, you see the olden practice, because in the olden time there was nobody to charge anybody. You will decide that no, this is so my so I bring 3 cows, I bring 4 cows, and then I marry. Even biblically, that's how it was being practiced. That those who wanted to pay the bride price, they will just bring along whatever articles that they want to bring for the woman, and it will be that. But I see nowadays, I think what is happening currently, I see the young men of today, they decide, I will lobola with you with 50,000, I will do one, two, three. And you see the parents of today, they are agreeing to what the two, to that the couple has agreed upon. So I think that is, it's like we are going back to that, though it's only that the amount seem to be high, but I think it's because where we are today.
Thank you very much for that. Can you take us through the religious way of the scriptural way of Lobola, and then you take us through in the day and age that we are in now? Um, is there a greed from family sides when it comes to Lobola?
Is there what?
A greed. Are people becoming greedy?
Oh, greedy.
Yes.
You mean today?
Yes.
Yeah, for to a certain degree, there is greed because of how it is in most families, how it is done. Because remember, in the olden days, it was not charged. As a man, when you go for Lobola negotiations, you were not going to be charged. You were just coming and they will just accept what you are bringing. Because remember, the essence of Lobola in the olden days is that the expectation was that the woman is a vision. Now, that is why it was called the bride price, because the woman was expected to be a virgin by then. So you will be paying for this virgin. You will also be paying to the parents to show appreciation to the parents for them having born you as this young lady. And now, when you get to today, this is where people now are being charged, and that's when we see the element of people being greedy, because at times what they are charging is unreasonable. Even the reasons they are advancing, they are fairly unreasonable reasons. But as you go through the scriptures, I read in the scriptures, and as I read Genesis 24, where Abraham sent the servant to look for a wife to Isaac, I see that all once immediately when the servant went out, he went out already with the prices he will be paying for the woman. And when this servant got there, we see that Rebecca was paid with what the servant was bringing along. It was never something that the family of Rebecca was charging from Abraham, but we just saw that they were bringing what they having. The only time in the scriptures where I see where the Bible, in fact, is even making a must phrase. It's in Exodus chapter number 22, from verse number 16, where the Bible says, if a man decides to seduce a virgin who is not engaged and lie with that virgin, it is said that he must pay that lobola and take the woman to be his wife. But that is subject to the agreement to the father, whether the father of the woman will agree that you take a child to be your wife. That's when scripturally I saw it was saying he must pay. But it even says, even if the father will refuse that you take the woman as your wife, the Bible says you must still pay the amount equal to that when the woman was to be your wife. So that's how it is in the scriptures, and that's how it is in the customary practice.
Thank you very much, my leader. In the day and age that we live in, we know that there's a superiority of men, that they feel that a woman's voice does not really count. So when Lobola is paid, do we promote that system, or is there equality within the customary marriage?
Let me get to your question very clear. Do I promote what?
No, not do you promote. I say that there is a gender inequality in terms
Yes.
of male and female. So when Lobola is paid, do we promote the superiority of the male over the female?
No, Lobola is not promoting the superiority of a man over a woman. It's not at all. Lobola is the
Okay, so
man. Lobola is the man appreciating the family of the woman, and also setting a mark that I value the woman that I marry. That is why it is called the bride price. You remember when we are to Jesus Christ is saying in the book of Ephesians chapter number 5, he says that the husband must love the church as Christ gave himself. In fact, the husband must love the wife as Christ gave himself, loved the church and gave himself for the church. You see, there's always a price to be paid when there is a husband and a wife set up. So there's always a prayer. Who is the husband must be able, must be willing to lay down his life for the one to be the bride to him. Now there is never a superiority thing that is being promoted when we pay Lobola.
Thank you very much, my leader. If a woman, if a man have paid Lobola for a woman, and they move in together, and there is abuse that takes place in the marriage, and the woman leaves the house of the husband, can the family of the wife, if she does not want to return, are they are they are they permitted to pay back the Lobola money?
No, it can never happen that way because Lobola is not a reason for abuse. It's not something. In fact, when we pay Lobola as men, we are not taking women to be objects. They are not objects at all. So whether we pay Lobola, we don't pay Lobola, we must just understand that there can never be a reason for abuse. So in a case that the woman was abused and is paid Lobola, that man must just know if the woman does not come back, the family is not obliged to pay back that Lobola. It's not obliged.
Thank you very much, my leader. In terms of if we look at the divorce rate that we have currently in our country, in our provinces, and you look at the divorce rate of customary marriages, do you think the customary marriage is the way to go in terms of tradition, in terms of culture? For instance, if I am a colored and I want to marry a woman of color, am I obliged to pay for the Lobola or not?
No, it will depend on cultures. There are cultures, if you are, like, let's say, if you are marrying a Tswana woman and you are a colored, it will depend on the culture of that Tswana woman. And if in our culture you have to pay Lobola, then you will still pay Lobola even though you are not a Motswana. So you still pay that Lobola because the way, remember, that is why in the scriptures, there are incidents where certain individuals were discouraged to marry to other groups, because if you would marry into that group, it will mean that you will go their way. But the parents will always advise their sons and say, but no, can't you look around, can't you look in our region, can't you look in our relatives, because they were prohibiting their sons to go into different cultures and do whatever. But today, as things stands, when you marry to a certain culture as a man, because remember, you are coming as a guest, you are knocking at the door which you don't know how that door is being opened. So when they open this door for you, they will now decide what must happen. And because you want what you want is with them, you will just follow in and just say, I'll follow your way, because the what your objective, you want the woman. So whichever route that you will have to take to get this woman, I think if you value this woman, you'll still do it.
Thank you, my leader. Just to rephrase on the first part of my question, um, the divorce rate is also high in terms of customary marriages. Um, do is it what can be, let me rephrase, the what can be the lack of teaching in our young society today that make them to divorce, while our parents in the cultural way did not they did not divorce in the olden days?
Yes, I think what we must be saying, divorce is high, and because in fact customary marriage is marriage. So when the difference between the generation of today and the previous generations is that what those olden people used to stand for, we seem not to be having the backbone to stand for such things. You see, when the in the olden days, when they were getting into marriage, it seems to me they were understanding what they were putting themselves into. As like today it's like getting married, it's like a glamour, it's like a status thing only. It's like people don't know what they are doing. It's like when other things are happening in marriage, it's like they never had a room, they never expected, and because of such, that's when we see divorce going up.
Thank you, my
But I
leader.
think, the one thing that the generation of today must learn is that when we look at uh, the olden people, they had the determination to say, nothing will come between me and my partner. Let me just set an example. There are a lot of old people families which we know that you grow up here is the couple and neighbor, there is a child of this husband, and but you ask yourself, the woman is still just peaceful, uh she's not going out, and things that are happening today, it's like they were determined to say, there is no little girl who will come into my marriage and destroy my marriage. It's like they said, there is no man who will come into my marriage and destroy my marriage. It's like they were adamant. It's like they were decisive. They were determined, and they stood firm in what they believe for. So today, people of today, it's like they don't have even patience. And that's why I like the scripture in the book of James when it says, let patience, allow patience to do its perfect work, so that you'll be found wanting, lacking nothing. So today it's like people, they are so impatient with one another. So that is why they end up in, we end up with so high rate of divorces, because people are very impatient with one another nowadays.
Very true. Thank you, my leader. In the customary marriage, if I am a wealthy man and at the negotiations, can I already come with a pre-nap contract that says that myself and this woman that I'm coming to ask for a hand in marriage, we will marry outside the community of property? Can that happen in a Lobola negotiation?
No, I have never heard that. In customary marriage, there is never such negotiations. There is never such negotiations. We
So
even the language that is being used during the negotiations will just tell you. Remember, Lobola, they refer to Lobola as cows, and when you bring cows, it's a clear sign that when we give you our daughter won't starve. She it will mean that our daughter will be well taken care of, and that is why the language that is being used there, it says to you, we give you this woman, but you have the responsibility to take care of this woman. They will tell you that this woman is so portable today, but we want to see this woman fed because of your cows. So in customary marriage, I don't think they will decide on those things that no, out of community, it will never be there.
thank you very much. There you have it. Those of you who are tuning in, there's no such thing of the 21st century marriages where we have a prenup contract to say that I want to marry you, but I want to marry you outside of the community of property. What I come with into this marriage, it's mine, and then what we get together is ours. If you
Yeah.
marry into the customary marriage, you marry into the community of property. It doesn't matter what you come into the marriage, whatever is yours is the woman's, and that is what is love. It doesn't matter what you bring to the table as long as you two can be together. My leader, take us through a process that you have set in where the price needed to be renegotiated.
Yes, you see, nowadays, you like I said earlier, you will find that the couple has agreed. And normally, what we do nowadays is that the young man will ask the woman to say, "Can't you just find out from your family where can I start to budget now?" And then they will agree. The mother will suggest, and the uncle will suggest, and the man will budget around what is being suggested or what is being told. But at times, the man will come even beyond the budget. But where I have said it's when there was such agreement, and you find out that now families, when during negotiations, there are a lot of visitors now on the panel. Now the people, those who said no, you can just bring 30,000, are not there. The mother is not there. Let's say in my culture, in my Tswana culture, ladies are not negotiating. It's only men who are negotiating. Now the mother cannot be there, and these gentlemen, they will now do it their business, because it's their business. They are the one processing the Lobola negotiations. Now you'll find somebody there who wants more, because remember, in our culture, the uncle will have a certain portion from the Lobola. Now if the uncle wants to have a bigger portion, he can just make a process long, because if you bring 30,000 and he wants to take home 10,000, then it will mean that he must go for 40,000 so that he can achieve his goal. So, but ultimately, you find that some, they succumb to the pressure, because remember, in my culture, we must do it before the sun come out. So if the sun is now coming out, we are under pressure now. We end up agreeing for the sake of peace, so that we are not fined, because there is a fine if we will come from the family, and when it is sunny, so we'll be fine. So we don't want to see fines with us, so we'll just agree and say, no, let us give you what we have, then we will come back with the remaining. So it has been like that, where you just get one person who we must from time to time go out to caucus. What are we bringing on? And ultimately, if they agree, they agree. If they don't agree, they don't agree. Then we will go back with a debt, but we will have to pay back that money in due time.
There was a follow up question, but you have raised it in between now, my leader. When the Lobola negotiations take place, why should it be done before the sun comes out? Is there a specific reason? Is there a cultural reason?
Yes, I think it was cultural. Remember where we coming from. Like in my culture, um even the issues of witchcraft, they play a game around that, because the jealousy issues. Now the olden people, they were believing that if they do it well, somebody does not know, while somebody is not aware. They will only hear the ululations after that. They will only hear the celebrations afterwards. Is because they never wanted anybody to interfere, whether in a form of witchcraft. They never wanted anybody to be aware. So that's why it was done during such early hours. And that's what I know about it in my culture. So I do not know about other cultures, but I see other cultures know it's done daylight. But with us, it must just be done before and since before the sun. And they say that you must not sleep over marriage. That is why even when we know that they will be coming around 4 o'clock, but from 6 o'clock in the evening. We will be standing waiting for them until 4 o'clock because they say we must not sleep over marriage. So
Okay.
that's how it has been done.
Okay. Thank you. It's quite a lengthy process, I must say.
Yeah,
Pamelo is asking a question. He says, "Why only men in a Lobola negotiations?"
it is because it's a culture, it's a custom. Remember, principles are there to ensure that whatever institution is being directed correctly, there's a sense of authority over the process. So if we cannot be having certain principles that govern what we are doing, then it will be a mess up. It will mean that it's a body with two heads. Now it had to be at least one males only, because it's a process that must be guided. And remember, we're speaking of cows, and where we're coming from in the olden days, only men were farmers like that. So we're coming from those things. And even in the scriptures, I don't see any woman being sent to pay a bride price. I see servants as males. I see fathers as males going to pay lobolas for their sons. So it has been a practice. So indeed, it's like that. But I think it's just a sense of being principled to say this is how we must govern what we are doing. We cannot just be doing it without any guidance or how we must do it. And in our culture and in customary marriage, there are processes where even ladies, they are leading some of the activities during the customary marriage.
Thank you very much, my leader. Just three more questions. Then we are done with the business of today. When is it only can a uncle who is not married sit in at a Lobola negotiation, or at a Lobola negotiation is it only married men or married uncles that sits in there?
I would say, inclusive of uncles, it's only married men. It's only
So
married
some
men.
so someone who is not married is not allowed to sit at the table where the real man who is married is sitting.
No, he cannot. If he's an uncle, we will just elect somebody to step in for that uncle. He will just report back. We will just report back after the process to the uncle.
Thank you very much. Thank you. My leader, quickly tell me, can the person's surname be changed to the husband's surname after they uh, had a customary marriage and Lobola is paid?
I think it should be like that. It should be like that, because remember earlier on I said customary marriage is marriage. It should be like that. When I've paid Lobola, we must understand that when I've paid Lobola customarily, I am married. So if you are changing to my surname immediately after we have paid Lobola, you should be Mrs. Mabohola.
Thank you very much. There you have it, dear viewers. If I pay Lobola for you tomorrow morning, your surname must be changed to my surname. My last question, my leader, in terms of Lobola, paying Lobola, in the event of paying Lobola, if a husband decides that he does no longer want to stay married to the person he paid Lobola for, do we follow the same way of divorce in the court of law, or is there another setting that takes place?
Now, if we have the couple in a customary marriage, when one of the couples does not want to be part of marriage anymore, there must be a formal report to the family. If it is me, I must report to the parents of my wife to say my wife has done 1, 2, 3, and because of 1, 2, 3, this is what I'm doing. I'm intending to move out of this marriage. Now, the family of my wife must then summon my family to say there's an issue concerning our children's marriage that we must attend to. So they will they will call that meeting. The two families will sit there. We will sit there. They will try their own mechanisms to bring us together. If we fail, it will be decided there in that platform where the two families are still there. It must still happen, just that nowadays, where as things are, when people are divorcing, there's a lot of fights and everything. Then we get that the families are now taking sides, and because of that, you see the parents of today are not like the parents of the olden days. They are now taking sides, and because of that, we now see marriages just been divorcing, and nobody has really tried to hear what was the issue. uh, was the marriage still repairable? What was the case? So we see it happening, but if things were done properly, no marriage must end without be accounted for to the relevant authorities, which are the family panels that negotiated that marriage.
Thank you, my leader. Quickly tell me, in such a meeting, the people who was present at the Lobola negotiations, do they form part of such a meeting?
They must form part of that meeting. They must, because those are the people who established this marriage. Those are the people who knows. Those are the right people to come and sit in that panel.
Thank you very much. There you have it, dear viewers. If I sit in a Lobola negotiation and there is problems, marital problems, I need to be part of the solution. With that said, my leader, thank you very much for your insight. Thank you very much for giving us great insight, because we are building towards the last part of this, where we will summarize up this Lobola negotiations. I think we have reached a lot of people in terms of how this thing works, what the ins and out is with regards to this. My last question to you, my leader, is the customary marriage certificate. It is valid in the court of law according to the Customary Marriage Act of 1998. Can that certificate be produced in a court of law where a couple is fighting a rough fight to get divorced?
Yes, that can be submitted. That is why in our traditions, in the villages where we are led by traditional leaders, you will have that certificate. And during the time where divorces are being discussed, that can be brought as a true reflection to say, indeed, there is a customary marriage. Remember, if anything is written anywhere, how can we prove?
Thank you very much. The reason why I'm asking that question is, if you follow the Sombizi Mohale case, they can't find that certificate that proves that these people have been married. So,
Uh-huh.
dear viewers, those who are tuned in, make sure that you keep that certificate, you keep it safe. We don't say you will divorce, because marriage is to be together till death do you part. I want to say thank you to
In,
my guest for tonight, who gave us great insight.
in fact, I was saying, I was to say the panel must make sure, if there is a Lobola negotiations, the panel must make sure from the groom side that they have the certificate.
Thank you very much, my leader. So from the
Bless.
groom side, they must make sure that they are issued with that certificate. Thank you very much, my leader, for your time. Thank you for buying out some time. I know that load shedding these days is humbling us. not to be on schedule and following, but it's something we cannot control. That is why I want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for buying time out after work to come with me on the session. I know that tonight's info that we've given unto the people, it's insightful and it is educational. Therefore, I want to say thank you to you. Greet your family, greet your wife. May God bless you with everything that you take on, my leader. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you, sir. Bless you, bless you. And the team, bless you.
Blessings, my leader.
Amen.
Thank you very much. There you have it, as we concluded part 3 of the Lobola negotiations, and we continue with this Lobola negotiations as we're gonna take another angle next week in terms of bringing different cultures together, Hindu, Islamic, and then also the African culture, as to how Lobola negotiations is taken place. Because next week I'm gonna have my guest, Apostle Asanda Jakuvula, who will be speaking with us on part 4 and also concluding this Lobola negotiations. Next week, we will be on Thursday night with the Lobola negotiations. So catch us next week, Thursday, on In Your Corner with Pastor Law. Also make a date with me in the month of June, as I will be speaking on a 3-part series, Spiritual Maturity. May God bless you and may He protect you as we continue with this negotiations. I also want to send a shout out to my friend Kabelo Bantobetse, who is on this feed tonight. If you want to sow a seed, if you want to partner with us, if you want to sow into our ministry, our banking details is on the screen. May God bless you and may He protect you as we continue on this journey. I am out. Bless you.